Well, this is my Parrot Bebop FPV pack, and I use it a lot of times to go out and do a lot of flying around with my Bebop. But sometimes I want to be able to hold my tablet in my hand and not go FPV. And so at those times, then I need to get this out. I need to use this little holder here to hold my tablet. And when it's real sunshiny here in Arizona, it's very difficult for me to see the screen. So this is going to be about the third sun shield that I've made, and I'm learning every time, and maybe this will be the last time, and maybe not. But if you've got a Bebop with a sky controller like this, then you've got this setup. Now, one thing that I couldn't figure out when I first got it is I couldn't bend this back any further. You know, now you've pushed down on it and turn it, but I couldn't get it to bend back. But it will bend forward. So I thought, why is that? And I think the reason is because they want you to have the antenna pointing up, because if you could bend this down, then you'd hold the antenna pointing at the ground. So that's probably the reason. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a sun shield that will work with my Samsung 8-inch tablet, and we're going to put it in there like so and clamp this and have the sun shield around it. So that's our plan, and we'll see how it works on this third time around. I thought I might as well videotape it and be able to help other people make a sun shield too. So we'll lay this aside for now, and we'll put the tablet over here, and I'll show you how we'll figure things out here. This is the poster board that I get at Walmart, and it's about $1 a sheet, something like that. So let's see, how wide is this? We're going to make, okay, so that's 20, well, we'll just say roughly 28 inches wide. And the tablet is roughly 8 inches, okay, a little more than 8. So the way to figure out where to put this thing is, first of all, we take our total width, which is 28, and we subtract the total width of the tablet, which is 8. So that gives us 20 inches left over. Then we have to divide that by 2. And so when we divide that by 2, we come in here, and that's about where we want our tablet to be. We'll have 10 inches on this side and 10 inches on this side. Actually, it's just a little bit off, so we'll move that over. Now, that's a general rule for finding where we want to place things. Also, one of the things that I was doing wrong previously is you know what? I'm going to have to get me a pencil. So, be right back. All right, that was quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put a mark over here, a mark over here. So now I know how much, I know where my starting line is. And then, like I said, the first one I made it so it looked straight in at the tablet, and then I made my nice sun shield around so the sun couldn't come in, but I had to have something, a hole at the top, which let light come in. And then when I would look in there, I would see the reflection of my face. And so in order to keep from having my face show up, now I'm going to take and I'm going to make it so it sits like this. And so when I look straight down, in other words, instead of having it look like that, it's going to be tilted. So when I look straight down at it, I won't see my reflection. My reflection will bounce up over to the front side of the shield. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, I'm going to figure out whatever measurement that is. So that's, well, let's see. So that's about 9.5. Well, let's get it exactly here. That's 9 5/8. So we'll come up here and we'll make a line 9 5/8. And then this one should be 9 5/8 too, probably. Well, that's actually 9 3/4. That's how far off we are. So we'll go 9 3/4 and put that there. And then we're going to make our line, our bend line, okay? One. There's the other one, okay? Then, what we want to do is we want to have the sides to come up, but we want them tilted back so that this, when it gets into the holder, it'll be tilted. So one of the things I'm going to do is we'll just make it about the width of this ruler right here. That's where the tablet's going to sit. And then we'll set the tablet in here. That's going to be about right. Make sure it's even on both sides. So that's 6 3/4, and that's just a little bit. Oh, wait a minute, that's not 6 3/4. That's 6 3/8, and so that's going to be 6 3/8. So we got that. Make that a nice line so it's easy to work with. Okay, so there is where our tablet's going to sit. Now, if I'm going to have that tilted forward, these sides have to fold back this way. And so what I'm going to do, let me see if I make that about 10 inches up. That's pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll make it just enough of an angle. I don't know how many degrees that is, and it's not critical. So we'll go like that. We'll go like that. Then we have to duplicate this up there. So since this is, let's just do it this way. Since this is, my tablet width is, well, I guess I'll just use this side because it's more accurate. Okay. My tablet width is 5 7/16. Okay, that's what I set it for. So now I come down over to here and I measure 5 7/16 to here. And I come over here and I measure 5 7/16, which would be right about there. Now I draw this line from there to there. And this line from there to there. Okay, so when this folds up, in order for me to look in the top, it's going to have to be tilted. Now, the front of it is going to have to be the same height as the sides. So, actually, it's going to be the same height as that line right there. So let's see what that is. That is, okay, so that's going to turn out to be 9 3/4. So what I want to do is come up here and measure 9 3/4 right there. And nine 3/4 there, and draw my line across there. Okay, so that's the basic fold up for my sun shield. It's going to be that, and that's going to be. Yeah, so that's going to be, and if it's not perfect, I can always trim it. But one of the things we need to do is we need to make sure that we leave some flaps to fold over. So what I like to do, and these can be any thickness, but what I like to do is just make it plenty wide. Like I say, that's not critical. And we make this one wide. And this one wide. And then we'll put a nice, like about a 45-degree bevel on those. And this will come in perfectly here. Put one over here, just a kind of a rough estimate. Come over here. Get that. Get that. And that. Okay. Now, we're going to have to cut this out here and this here, but we're not going to cut this because we're going to fold it underneath, and that will give the base of the cardboard a little more stiffness because it's going to be clamped in the clamp, and it's because of its weight, because it does have some weight, it's going to want to flop a little bit. So we're going to cut this out. We'll cut this out. And then we'll do some folding. So that's the next step, is to start cutting. And we'll save these pieces because we'll probably be needing them. All right, now we're ready to do some bending. And I'll put this over here so we don't knock it off. So the first thing I want to do is bend this one, and I'm going to bend it up. So I have a metal ruler here. A piece of angle iron will work, anything that is not going to give. And then we'll get our finger underneath it there. And bend that down on there like that. And then take our ruler and just run it across there. And make sure that's going to want to stay down. Now the reason I bent it up is because the tablet's going to sit here, and then that's going to push against the tablet, which will make it probably pretty easy when I go to close things up to get the tablet off. So now, let's see, we'll just go this way here. We want to fold this one up. And we don't have to be so aggressive on that one because this one needs to lay flat. Now that one doesn't. Now then, we take our tablet, and here's the control buttons. We want them on the bottom so we can reach them. And then this will come up like this. This will come up like this. And whoop, there goes the tablet. And now all we have to do is fasten them together. And of course we'll have to cut a hole up here for the clamp. And we have to cut a hole on this side right over here for the USB plug. So to do that, I'll have to go get my blade. Okay. Now, I need to, well, we'll just have to get this off of here. And we've got our tablet in there. Now, one of the other things that I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of those extra pieces of plastic, of cardboard, and put it so I can fasten it on the back side. But I leave this open so I can do all my settings, and then once I get everything set, then I'll just put it on there. But how do we keep this all together? Well, I mean, you hold on to everything. You notice now how that's at an angle, and that's going to be up like that. So we're looking down at an angle. If you can see, we're looking at an angle to the tablet. So when you take this thing out of the tablet, you hold on right here really tight, like that, and then you push this little button, and you keep a hold of the tablet because you don't want it falling. And usually you do this outside, so you don't want it falling. Okay, so we've got that pretty much made the way it needs to be. But how do we hold it all together? Okay. Well, we'll start with this side here. This is commercial type. You know what? I think I'm going to get my cheap stuff. Hang on a second here. This is stuff you get at Walmart, and it works just fine. This here is what I use to hold cameras on airplanes when they're flying, and it's really tough and hard to break loose from. Whereas this is not as high quality, and it works just fine. So what we're going to do, we want this to be over there like that, so I'm going to put a piece here and a piece there. Actually, we can just cut one piece, cut it in half, and use the other half on the other side. So that's going to be right about there somewhere. And as you can see, it's hard to get it started, but there we go. Okay, and we'll just put it right about there. Okay, and we'll put this on the other side. About the same place. Okay. Now we need to get the fuzzy stuff. Cut a couple pieces. It gums up your scissors too when you do this. It's better to use a small piece because when you try to undo these things, they don't like to let go. So there I am trying to get that off of there. And it's going to come up right there. So I'm going to put it right there. Okay, now that comes up there and fastens on. And that's all you need. It doesn't have to be any more than that. That's going to keep the light out. So now we'll go over here. Get this one apart. Where are we here? Okay. So that's got to be on the inside. So this one's going to be right about there. Oops, upside down. Okay, so now this folds up, it stays right there. Okay, so we got that part done. Now as it turns out, this is perfect because I can roll this down and then I'll cut a slot in here that I can look through. So I'll do that later because we've got this made, and the next thing we want to do is make the piece that's going to go on the back here so that we can just stick it on when it's time to when we get our tablet all running right. So I'll find one of those spare pieces, and if we're fortunate, and we are, oops, that's the angle, so we'll go this way. If we're fortunate, it's just almost wide enough. It's really just a little bit too narrow. So maybe we'll just do it like that, okay? Now this should fit right there. And I'll put some Velcro to hold that. And then this will have Velcro on it, and I'll have a little slot cut in there. I can look through it. And I've got my sun shield all made. So I want to thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Thank you.